Good evening, YouTubers. Today I'm going to show you something really cool. I've been working on a complete new feature that I know a lot of in the community are wanting to see, and it's to do with style making and style changing. And this is my version of that. By the way, Yamaha and other people's like Mixmaster, for example, are excellent tools. So this is not in any way a replacement. This is just another version of that uses, and I will show you why and how, the SmartBridge features to work with styles. So let me introduce you to the new tab. You open up SmartBridge and you have now Style Maker. The idea is that you take a current style. I have downloaded all the Genos 2 styles on my hard drive. So in this case, I'm going to use a style called 10's mid-tempo pop. So all I have to do is go into my hard drive, desktop, pick up 10's mid and open it. So now what I have now are the raw MIDI data, and as you can see, it follows the intro 1, 2, 3, min, end. So, and here you have all the lanes with the actual the actual sound itself. And as you can see, I'm using, and that's the whole idea behind this, I can use and reuse the MIDI clips that I produce for bass, for drums, for guitars, and for brass. And I can also, and I will show you how, use the solo phrases. So this is finally coming together as a product that can actually give you ways to quickly create styles that are much more flexible and much more alive than the current ones. So the first thing we're going to do here is it's a 4-bar loop or style, and that's not bad. I've seen worse. I've seen 1 loops and it sounds horrible. So I'll extend it to 8. That's the first thing I'll do. Then we will hear what's in here. This one has nothing. Great, let's change that. I'll go into funk percussion. I will pick my shaker. And there's 2 ways to do that. Either you can click on select rhythm like that, or you can just drag it in there. Bang, it's there. Okay, what about this? That's a little bit too boring. We can do something more fun. Let's go into the dance category. This is a GM drum, and I'll pick a verse. Perfect. Drag it in. And also, if you wanted to, you can stop it by clicking stop anywhere. If I wanted to, for example, manipulate this before I continue working with it, do you see this little icon? With that, you can just drag it into, I'll just drag it into a lane here. Well, so here, in Cubase, I can now work on it. Let's say that I find that the drums are a little bit too quiet and I want to increase the volume. I can do that, and then when I'm done, all I have to do is drag it into a rhythm. Bang, and it's in there. So that's the cool stuff. Let's do a bass, because that's where I think this will give you a lot of changes and a lot of good way of working with it. So in this case, I'll pick disco and I'll pick a verse. Drag it into the bass. What do we have here? It's some sort of a mega voice guitar. I think we can make it better. I'll walk into my rhythm guitars under R&B. I'll pick my classic fill-ins. And here it's important that you stay on the right channel. So in this case, by default, it's channel 12. That's usually the way it is, chord 1. And that happens to be the correct here. It's a little bit too low, but I will show you how I can fix that. So let's say I want to use this. Great, I'll import it. And here you actually get a question. Is this a comp key or a rendered mega voice, or is it a strum? In this case, it's a Yamaha mega voice guitar. And this is to the KSM that renders it correctly. As I said before, the voice here was a little bit too low, so I have a dedicated mixer for this. In this case, I'll up the volume to, say, 45, and let's add something of that. And I click on save, and that is saved by section. So you can save your own instruments and these things for a section. So let's listen to it now. Much better. This one doesn't have anything. Let's see what it is. It's supposed to be a clavi. Just leave it as is. The pad is doing its paddy stuff. What is phrase doing? Nothing. And phrase 2. Oh, it's a muted guitar. I think, and this is a cool thing, I will not use that, so I'll just click clear, and now it's gone. Right, so that was showing you how you can extend and you can replace the MIDI with your own MIDI. Now, here comes the cool part. If you want to create your own intros, you can do that as well. In this case, we'll pick an 8-bar intro. And the way it works in Yamaha world is that you have to have a progression in C major that ends with a dominant G, and a progression in A minor that ends with the dominant as well, the E chord. So I already prepared that in advance. So in my songs, I have a song that I call chords. Here I have the C progression, and here I have my A minor progression. And the reason why I'm saying that it all comes together now is that you can really quickly record this. I've done this in advance already. And the only thing I'm going to change here, instead of the solid guitar, I'm going to pick a, go back to my style, distortion guitar. So instead I'm going to go to the woodwinds and pick a pop soprano. Add a little volume to it and a little more reverb. Save that for the intro 3. And now all I have to do is drag and drop the files in there. So I'll take the rhythm one, I'll take the second rhythm, and here, because I recorded this twice, I can just drag, in this case, the bass and the minor bass. It will ask me. Oh, I've done it in the wrong one. Sorry. Bass must be in bass. It should never get a question. There we go. Those are correct. Yes. What's next? Chord 2. Chord 2. So we'll click that. That's in my guitar. And here, you're right, it's a mega voice. Same thing here. Chord 2. Again, a mega voice. Let's do some pads. And then you tell it it's a pad or what it is. And this is again pre-programmed to make sure that the KSM is correctly adjusted to this. Same thing here. I'll just add the other pad. Call it a pad sustain. And the last thing, of course, is the second guitar, but we're not going to use that, so I'll clear that out. And here, and this is a cool thing, I want to add my solo phrase. And again, you pick the correct kind of thing that you have here. In this case, it's a phrase melody. And then drop it in there and tell it it's a phase melody. Great, so here I preview the major. And I preview the minor. Alright, so what we've done two things. We changed the main A with my own clips, and we created a completely different intro. Let's export this so you can see the actual result on my keyboard. It's T, S, P. I've done a couple of these, so it will ask me to replace the file. Yes, please. Okay, I go into I need to pull up my USB drive. There it is. 10 has popped. Drag it over. Replace. And then connect it to the Genos. Done. By the way, I'm using a USB switch, so I can switch between the Genos and my computer. Okay, so let's bring it up. Let's just for fun try section B that hasn't been altered. It sounds like it should. Let's switch over to A. As you can hear, it's completely different. And it's actually playing a full 8-bar with all sorts of energetic and stuff. So, very different. Let's listen to the intro. Let's start with the major intro. And it started with the one again. Let's do it the same thing, but this time around listen to the minor version. And it goes back to my custom A minor. Alright my friends, that was a short introduction on the new feature StyleMaker. It's really powerful and extremely useful.